Good day everyone, this is our report for firearms and ammunition and food and drugs specimen.
Firearms and ammunition. But before that, alamin muna natin kung ano nga ba ang firearms at ammunition. Firearms. A firearm is a mechanical device that launches a projectile at high velocity through a tube as a result of expanding gases from a burning propellant. While ammunition is the material fired, scattered, dropped, or detonated from any weapon or weapon system. Bullets and cartridges have the unique markings of the firearm from which they were discharged. In addition, firearms leave a visible residue on the shooter's hands. The succeeding paragraphs provide for the proper collection and preservation of the gunshot residue, firearms, serial numbered items, weapons, spent bullets, and spent cartridges. Number 1. Gunshot residue. Gunshot residue is the total residues resulting from the discharge of a firearm. Includes gunpowder, primer residues, carbonaceous material, metallic residues from projectiles, and etc. Letter A. Wash your hands or wear a pair of gloves. Proper hygiene or protective gear is essential to avoid contaminating the crime scene or evidence. Washing hands or using gloves ensures that any trace evidence from the handler doesn't interfere with the forensic process. Letter B. Get swabs of the back of the suspect hand, left and right hand using cotton swabs, moistened with 5% nitric acid. Collecting swabs from the suspect hand with a specific acid solution helps preserve and detect gunshot residue. The swabs are placed in a bag for identification and future analysis. Letter C. Get swabs of the right and left facial cheeks areas if a rifle or shotgun is involved. Gunshot residue can also be transferred to a person's face after firing a rifle or shotgun. Swabbing the cheeks helps to gather this residue for forensic testing. Letter D. Do not attempt to collect swabs if a .22 caliber was involved. If more than 6 hours have elapsed or if the suspect has washed his hands, these conditions can reduce the likelihood of collecting usable gunshot residue. After 6 hours or if the suspect has washed their hands, the evidence may no longer be present. Letter E. Make a control swab by wetting a cotton swab with dilute acid. A control swab is used to compare with the suspect swabs, ensuring that the testing process is accurate. The control helps identify any external contamination during collection. Letter F. Get a swab of the interior of a spent casing using water instead of acid. Swabbing the inside of a spent casing with water preserves any potential residue without altering the evidence. This is necessary for proper analysis of the casing. Letter G. Put clothing, evidence intended for gunshot residue testing inside a plastic bag. Clothing suspected to contain gunshot residue must be carefully collected and stored to prevent contamination. The bag should be labeled for easy identification and tracking. Letter H. Send the firearm to the laboratory to determine the distance from the bullet hole to the firearm muzzle. Sending the firearm to a lab allows forensic experts to analyze the shooting distance. If ammunition is available, it should be sent as well to support the investigation. And number 2, small arms. Small arms is a weapon designed for individual use. They are usually at the lower end of the caliber spectrum, 4.6 to 40 or 66 mm. Letter A. Photograph the weapon before conducting the examination. Take clear photographs of the firearm from multiple angles before any handling or examination to preserve its condition and for evidence documentation. Letter B. Dust the weapon for fingerprints. Use fingerprint powder or chemical to reveal any prints on the surface of the weapon to aid in identifying suspect or individuals who may have handled it. Letter C. Remove magazine from automatic loading weapons. Always remove the magazine from automatic firearms to ensure if it is not loaded before proceeding with further examination. Letter D. Do not operate mechanism except to unload. Avoid interacting with or operating the firearms mechanisms, except for safely unloading it to prevent altering evidence or compromising the investigation. Letter E. Sketch the relative position of the spent casing and live rounds with respect to the barrel. Create a sketch showing the position of spent shell casings and live round near the firearm to help reconstruct the scene and understand how the firearm was used. Letter F. Affix an identification tag to the weapon. Attach an identification tag to the firearm with important details such as make, model, serial number, and other relevant information to maintain proper documentation and tracking of the weapon. Letter G. Scratch initials or marks of identification on inside or off-frame receive box strap, bangle, etc. Mark the firearm discreetly with your initial or identification in a way that will not damage it but will help confirm its chain of custody. Letter H. Do not mark X to mark stocks, side plates, or any part that can be readily removed or replaced. Avoid marking parts of the weapon that are easily removed, such as stocks or side plates, to preserve their integrity as evidence. Letter I. Record the absence or presence of round in the chamber. Dust the outer surface of the clip for prints. Put the clip in an envelope, then mark. Check if a round is in the chamber. Dust the magazine for fingerprints and securely store it in an envelope with proper labeling. Letter J. Put the weapon in a plastic or paper bag. Mark the bag with your initials, the date, and an exhibit number. Place the firearm in a black bag, protect it from contamination or damage, and label the bag with relevant information for identification and tracking. Letter K. Do not send a loaded firearm through the mail. It is illegal and unsafe to mail a loaded firearm. Always ensure it is unloaded before any transportation. Number 3. Serial number. A number showing the position of an item in a series, especially one printed on paper, currency, or on a manufactured article for the purpose of identification. Letter A. If the serial number has been erased, put an identifying mark on the weapon. If the weapon's serial number is removed or altered, you should mark it with a unique identifier such as a code or number to help track and identify the weapon. Letter B. Attach an identification tag to the weapon with your initials, the date, and an exhibit number. Label the weapon with a tag that includes your initials, the date of handling, and an exhibit number, ensuring clear and proper documentation for evidence handling. Letter C. Put the weapon in a proper or plastic bag. After securing the weapon, place it in a paper or plastic bag to prevent contamination, preserve evidence, and protect the weapon from damage or tampering. Letter D. Do not attempt to retrieve the serial number using acid etch solutions. Avoid using harsh chemicals such as acid etching to recover a serial number from a weapon, as it may damage the firearm and potentially destroy valuable evidence.
So the next one is fired cartridge cases. Letter A is photograph the fired metallic cartridge cases conducting the examination. It means document the cartridge case's initial condition. Letter B is do not mutilate, scratch, or nick head of shell. So it means handle the head carefully as it contains markings. Letter C naman is if recovered in revolver cylinder, mark chamber to correspond with the shell designation. Ibig sabihin nito is if found in a cylinder, mark chamber to show the shell's position. Yun lang. Letter D naman is note as to mark of identification used. You need to record the method of, or you need to record used to mark the cartridge case for the lab. Letter E is sketch showing relative position of shell if recovered on floor or sheet. It means draw a sketch drawing. Draw a sketch showing the position of multiple cases. Letter F naman is transmit the information to laboratory scratch initial or mark of identification near mouth of shell, preferably inside the mouth. It means mark the case with your initials near the mouth. Letter G naman is do not scratch, mutilate head, or read portion of cartridge case. It means avoid damaging potential markings. Fire bullets. Photograph the bullets before conducting the examination. So, parehas lang sila nung shoulder weapons ng process or detailed. So, it means document the bullets initial condition. Letter B is extract the used bullet from the object, excluding the material around it. Remove the bullet, avoiding disturbing the surrounding materials. Letter C is do not wash or clean anything. So, it makaka-avoid avoid removing trace evidence by cleaning the bullet. For secure, letter D is cover the bullet with cotton, then place it in an unbreakable container. So, pack the bullet separately and wrap the bullet in cotton. Protect its surface. Place each bullet in a separate container. For safety, letter E is mark the container with your initials, the date, and an exhibit. Label the container with your initials, date, and exhibit number. So almost parehas lang din sila ng detail nung the shoulder weapons. So next.
Paper shotshell. Isang okay ng projectile na kadalasang ginagamit sa mga shotgun. Sa simpleng paliwanag, ito ay isang cartridge na gawa sa papel na nagdalaman ng maraming maliliit na bolang metal. At itong fired paper shotshell ay isang produkto ng teknolohiya na ginagamit sa pangangaso at recreational shooting. And next is shot pellets. Small balls or pellets that are often made of lead and are used in shotguns and grenade launchers. Here are some types of shot pellets: birdshot and buckshot. Birdshot collection of small projectile used for hunting bird, and buckshot, a large shotgun pellet used for hunting medium-sized game. And last, shot wads is a plastic barrier within the shell casing that separates the pellets or shot from the gunpowder during waterfowl hunting.
Food and drugs specimen. Food and drug specimen may link a suspect with a crime or corroborate other evidence. The succeeding paragraph are the outline step for gathering and preserving liquid, powder, and solid or plant material specimen. Liquids. Gathered a minimum of 1 pint of the liquid using a leak-proof container, and fasten the container with adhesive tape and mark with your initials, the date, and exhibit number. And mark glass container with fragile and collect a comparison standard. Plant material. Air dry samples by putting in on brown paper for 24 hours. When truly dried, put the evidence in a box or a vial and fasten with tape, and pack each sample separately. Weight the contents, mark the container with your initials and date and exhibit number, and lastly, collect a comparison standard. Powder or solids. Put in a container such as a pillbox or vial. Weight the contents, fasten the container and mark with your initials, the date, and an exhibit number. Refrigerate the evidence if required. Do not attempt to add preservatives to solid food sample and collect a comparison standard. Tablet and capsule. Put the evidence in a plastic vial or a pill box. Record the contents, fasten the container and mark with your initial, the date, and an exhibit number. Collect a comparison standard, search the refrigerator or cupboard for similar materials, which are marked. Avoid removing the sample from their original containers. Put them in sterile, clean containers and refrigerate to inhibit the growth of bacteria. Similarity comparison standard from drugs are collected from the same procedure. Do not mix specimen in a single bag if they were found close to each other or even if they are similar in appearance.
Glass may contain hidden fingerprints and should be packed properly. If glass fragments are found in shoes or clothing, collect these and bring to the laboratory for analysis. These indicate how large or small glass fragments should be gathered and preserved. In large fragments, search for concealed fingerprints using dusting method. In order to prevent damage on the thin, protruding edges of the glass, put them in modeling clay or putty. When picking up glass, use tweezers to minimize scratchings of glass surface and to protect the glass edges. Avoid breaking the fragments. And mark the glass fragments with adhesive tape for identification by clearly writing your initials and date on the tape. After marking, wrap each fragment with cotton and secure all fragments in a fastened box. Mark each box with your initial, the date, and the exhibit number. And place in a separate package all questionable glass fragments. And in case you are using the glass fragments in fracture analysis, such as when determining the directions of a bullet's impact, fragments should be tagged whether these are found inside or outside the building. In addition, mark the surface of the glass which was facing outside. Do not forget to collect comparison standard. That's for the large fragment. The procedures that you need to do when you're collecting the large fragments. On the small fragments, you need to inspect articles of clothing and footwear for presence of glass fragments. Use also tweezers or other similar instrument to gather the glass shards, making sure that the edge and surface of the glass are not accidentally scraped in any way. Using clean paper or plastic bags, carefully wrap each article of clothing where glass pieces were found. Put in a separate bag all questioned glass fragments, separate them from the known glass pieces. Securely fasten each bag and mark the same with your initial, the date, and the exhibit number. Place footwear and other solid objects in separate containers such as shoe boxes to prevent rattling and damaging the glass, and tape each object to the bottom of the box. Do not pack articles containing microscopic glass pieces in cotton or other soft materials. Secure each package thoroughly. Check if there are holes through which glass pieces might be lost. And keep loose glass fragments in pill box, plastic or glass vials, and fasten them completely to prevent rattling and chipping of glass, place cotton inside and receptacle. Do not use envelopes as containers. And make sure that you tag all packages with your initials, the date, and the exhibit number. Do not forget to collect a comparison standard. And let me give an example scene of collecting glass fragments showcasing both large and small pieces. Let me give a scenario. A car accident has occurred with a shattered windshield. I am the investigator and I am tasked with collecting glass evidence on large fragments. For the location, you must find several pieces of windshield glass scattered on the ground near the car. For the collection, I must carefully pick up each pieces using tweezers, avoiding scratching the surface or edges. I also need to wrap each fragment in cotton, ensuring it's secured to prevent further damage. I must place and wrap fragment in a labeled box, marking it with my initials, the date, and the exhibit number. Like for example, glass windshield 1. I must also collect a comparison sample of glass from the remaining intact portion of the windshield, and I must also wrap this sample separately and label it accordingly. Like for example, glass windshield comparison. And additionally, I must observe that some large fragments have blood stain. I observe rather that some large fragments have blood stains. I must carefully pack these separately and labeling them as biohazardous and documenting their location. For small fragments, in location, I inspect the driver's clothing, and I find several small glass fragments embedded in the fabric. For the collection, I carefully collect the fragments using tweezers, ensuring I don't scrape the fabric or damage the glass edges. I must wrap the clothing item containing the glass fragments in a clean paper bag, labeling it with my initials, date, and exhibit number. Like for example, clothing driver 1. I must collect any loose glass fragment found on the clothing and place them in a labeled pill box or vial. Like for example, glass clothing 1. And additionally, I also find small glass fragments on the passenger seat. I collect these separately and label them as glass passenger seat. For documentation, I carefully document the collection process, including the location of each fragment, the type container used, and any observation about the condition of the glass. Example, color, the size, and the shape.